Hiya, Abby here. I just wanted to put a quick disclaimer at the beginning of this video to tell you that our footage of Baldur's Gate 3 is not representative of what the actual game looks like. Some of the quality got lost in the recording. Also, the audio is a little bit messed up while we were doing the character creation, but it does get fixed after this. So please keep these things in mind while you're watching our review. And I hope you enjoy the video. Hello, I am Abby from HitScan. Today we're looking at Baldur's Gate 3. I'm here with Casey.
Hello.
And James.
Hello.
And right now we are looking at the character creation. There's a lot going on, but I'll walk you through it. So, this game was made by Larian and Wizards of the Coast, which beats D&D. Yay.
So, Larian were the guys behind Divinity, right?
Yes, and I don't know if you play Divinity, but it's amazing.
Yeah, I put in about 4 or 5 hours into Divinity, but I didn't have anyone to play with at the time, but yeah, it was cool.
Well, I don't know about Casey, but I finished Divinity 2, and I loved every second of it. So when this game came out...
Finished it.
You haven't finished it?
Hours in it, yeah.
Yeah, so when this game came out, I was very excited for it. But as you can see, this is very D&D. We have all our abilities. We've got our strength and our dex and our con, etc. All our proficiencies, the cantrips that you get. So right now you can only make a custom character. But if you play Divinity, then you should know that there are origin characters as well.
Yep.
Ones who have pre-made stories, and in the future we will be able to play those, but right now we can't. But you'll meet all of those in a second. So we've got all our backgrounds here. Again, if you play D&D, you'll know what all of these are.
And this is the 5th edition rule set, right?
Yes, it is.
Cool, okay.
Yeah, so all backgrounds do is just give you some proficiencies in different skills. It also gives you some lore as well, but for the most part, anything that it changes is just these right here. We have a couple of races at the moment, quite a few. We've got Tiefling, Drow, Human, Githyanki, Dwarf, Half-Elf, and Halfling.
Githyanki?
Yes! I said the same thing when I first saw it. This isn't... I don't know if it's a playable race in D&D. I know it's in there. But I think it's more of like an enemy than a playable race. But they are like these weird toad-looking people.
Oh, kind of almost Lord of the Rings goblin looking.
Yeah. They have a very edgy backstory and lore. They ride red dragons. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. they're there. But we have all of our other normal races. And they all have their own sub-races. So you can be Asmodeus Tiefling, or the one that I'm not going to try and pronounce. You can be a high elf or a wood elf. With high elves, you can choose a cantrip. The works. It's D&D. That's what it is.
Well, you say the works, but I'm not seeing Goliath on there.
No, unfortunately.
Come on, bro.
I mean, it may be added. This is just an early access. It may be added in there eventually. But this is what we got so far. And the character creation is cool. As a person who will spend 3 hours in character creation and then 5 minutes playing a game, I feel like it's lacking a little bit, personally. Just because, you just have presets.
Oh, there's no sliders and
Yeah.
and things to...
Yeah, that's my only issue with it.
In a D&D game, that's...
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I think some of, the presets are the same for different races. So, yeah, and again, you only have a couple hairstyles.
Head 4 and Head 2 look suspiciously similar to each other there.
But there still is quite a lot of customization going on. You don't have to stick to the skin colors of the race. You can just click this and you have all of them, which is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
So you can have a drow without the drow being in there.
Exactly. Same with eye colors, you can have demon eyes if you want to. There's tattoos.
That's you got a real mean looking character going on right now.
I'm just picking random things at the moment. Different facial tattoos and makeup. So there is quite a lot of customization in there, just not as much as I'd like.
Show James the beard options. I know
I
he's
was
big in his
just
beard
about
options.
to ask. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, those are some good-looking beards. It's
They
like
are.
press effects type fucking beards. That's impressive.
Even if
Oh
you
wow.
want, yeah. Oh, it gets even bigger.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's even braided too.
Yeah, they really went all out with that one.
Okay, top marks, Larry, and well done. 10 out of 10 already. I can feel it.
Nice. For classes, we don't have every class at the moment. Druid is the newest one. And you can turn into animals, and it's hilarious. You know, sometimes they'll like climb up a ladder weirdly, or you can make them sit like a human.
Oh, you have to
It's
show me.
really nice. So yeah. We also
That
have
is
a
a
cleric.
that is a gorgeous default armor on the druid.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah, I like that too. With a cleric, and you can have the different subclasses. They're not all in here. In my D&D life, I play a Twilight cleric, which isn't in here, which kind of makes me sad.
Show me the deities. I'm dying to go on.
Okay, there's Shah, there's Tempest, there's Tyr, and Bane, and Helm, and Merc, and Ilmater,
Oh wow, they got a good view then.
and that one. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Ogma, yeah.
And Kellamore. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I don't know if they have
Moradin.
all of them, because I don't know all of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of pantheons to pull from. So, but yeah, I recognize an awful lot of these from the
Yeah.
player's handbook.
Yeah.
But even Lolth is in there, and you
Yeah.
don't even have Drow.
Lolth is a
That's
big
crazy.
one in this game, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, we'll see that in a little bit. I don't think I've actually looked through all of these. I didn't realize there were so many of them. So yeah, we get all of our cantrips and prepared spells. You can choose from them for your level. And
Okay, and do you unlock these as you kind of progress through
Yes.
the campaign?
Yes,
Right,
you
cool.
do.
So the next time you started with a new character, you could pick different prepared spells.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I believe it's like every other level when you level up, you can choose a new spell.
Yeah. So that's like the typical sort of D&D way. I kind of meant more like almost as if you were unlocking new handbooks as you went through the campaign. So
Oh.
that more of those spells were coming up.
No, not
Oh,
really
okay.
like that. It's only when you level up you get access
Got
to the
you.
newer ones.
Got you. Because I know some.
You want to
some-
say? Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, I was going to say some handbooks add like new cantrips and spells that you can
Yeah.
start with. But
Yeah.
what were you going to say, Casey?
I know that with certain classes, if you find scrolls for spells, you can learn those spells.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then we also have our cantrips, which there aren't that many of them. I don't actually think this is all of them that are in D&D. I feel like there's a few more.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, this is early access. They'll probably add them in later on. But I feel like there's a good selection of what we've got so far. These are like, I think these are just the spells that you're forced to have A burning
Yeah,
harvest fairy
so-
fire.
So, in that it's in early access, and it has been since the 6th of October of 2020, you guys have had this game for roughly how long now?
Ooh,
About that time.
yeah. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
since
we.
release.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we bought it quite close to release.
And
Like
how...
maybe November or so.
Right, okay. And how has the character creation stuff changed since you first had it? Is there a lot been added, or...
Not really. Like I said, the druid class is new. That was added kind of recently. But for the most part, it's been this way since the beginning.
Right.
Yeah. So, you got your fighter, you got your warlock, you got your rogue, you got your ranger, and your wizard. So, those are the classes we've got right now. They are going to be added more. I want a bard, personally.
Yeah. I was going to say, distinct lack of bard there. So in terms of subclasses, obviously with sort of rogue, you've got like arcane trickster, and you can go down those sort of routes in D&D 5th.
Yeah.
But are you seeing that also in this game? Is
Yes.
that...
That is a
Right,
thing. You don't choose it right now. You choose it when you level up, as you do
Yeah,
in
of course.
D&D as well. So yeah, I recommend playing all of the classes and kind of seeing how they unlock and all the paths you can take with them. My personal favorite has been a cleric so far. The ranger is amazing, which again, if you've played 5e, then you know rangers are fucking horrible. And this will give you some hope again. You have all of your like beast tamers and stuff. You can have a familiar, by the way.
Excellent.
Right now I think the rogue is kind of broken. I don't think the sneak attack works properly at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't work like 5e does. I don't really know what's going on with that. I don't know if they said anything about it either. I don't know if you know anything, Casey.
Do not know.
No.
Yeah. Couldn't say.
Yeah, so that's the only downside I've found so far is with the rogue. I mean, I still have fun with the rogue. It's just kind of broken at the moment. I believe, I'm not sure what class it is. I want to say it's warlock, but I believe you also have the ability to swap out your spells every time you level up. I think that's a warlock thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So, if you're playing a warlock and you don't like spells, then you can just swap. And then we have all our skills as D&D has as well, and you can choose your proficiencies.
And I take it the different races give you the different sort of proficiency bonuses.
Yes.
So obviously with a human you get the +2 and yeah.
Yeah, yes. Also with your backgrounds, it'll give you some extra stuff as well.
Yeah.
And then you can put your points into here. There's no rolling, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. I was sad about that as well, but you can choose what you want. I always go for good charisma because you need it.
Yeah.
But they're all used for the most part. It's nice because I know in a lot of campaigns that you play in D&D, there'll be like wisdom never used or like your cons never used really. So
Yeah.
there's a good balance of that going on. And then once we've done this, I'm just gonna do this. We also make another character, somebody who you dream of, somebody who attracts you. And I'm not gonna go fully into this because spoilers, but you get to make another person, and you will see them appear in the game at some point. I always make a drow. Personally.
Yeah.
I know people have made Shrek before, and the screenshots are hilarious.
Okay.
So yeah, you just do whatever you want. I wish I could say more about this, but yeah, it's all very spoilery, and I don't want to spoil it for people. But yeah,
How interesting it is to have the drow there as a race, but not yet playable.
I think you can play as a drow.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't spot that.
There we
That's
go.
my bad.
You can. So yeah, that is the character creation for the most part. Now we're gonna move on into the game. So here we are in the game. I love the way it looks personally. I think it looks beautiful, and you can really see it in the cutscenes. I think we might be able to get a couple of them. You pretty much get them anytime you talk to anybody. It's all voice acted and animated, which is amazing.
Really?
Yes.
Even in early access. So is
Yes.
every character you're able to talk to like voice acted that you've seen so far?
Yeah. There are
Wow.
some glitches. Sometimes a voice line won't play and you just have to read it. We've had some times where your character is like suspended midair and the person you're talking to is looking upwards at them.
Oh, great.
It's kind of funny. But for the most part, they're great and I love them. So we're playing multiplayer right now. We've got me and Casey running around. And we've just had a level up. So if you want to show them what it's like to level up, that would be great.
All right. Yeah. So we'll go in and start with Shadowheart. So this is kind of like what we were mentioning earlier. Is like you can, whenever you level up. At this time, I can't. Oh, actually, yes, I do have new spells I can choose from, and you can go ahead and select those from your the customized known spells or prepared spells, excuse me. And they now have, some of them have new levels. So like we've got level 2 on this one. And so basically, of course, those are just going to be more powerful versions of the spells. Yeah. I'm not really all that great with knowing what spells are, because obviously I don't have much experience in D&D, but...
So yeah, I was going to pick up on that a little later on, but now I guess is as good a time as any. So Casey, you haven't played the tabletop D&D so far, right?
No, I have not.
So how it seems like, I mean, obviously with 5th edition there is a lot going on. It's simplified somewhat from 4th, but the UI seems really busy as well. But obviously you came from playing Divinity. How have you found, picking this game up? Has it been easy enough? Has there been any sort of stumbling blocks for you?
It's been easy enough, and one thing, I was going to bring this up later, but one thing I was reading about, there's supposed to be a new major patch that's coming out soon, and one of the things that they're releasing with that is a lot of integrated tooltips to explain things for people who aren't really familiar with things. So that'll be really handy. But I mean, coming from Divinity to this, like, it hasn't been that hard, because I mean, with stuff, it tells you like how the damage is, if it's going to be like 4 d6s or something like that, to calculate that. I mean, I've got an idea of, well, okay, 4 times 6, yeah. I know that my range is going to be between 4 and then, let's see, 24, for damage. So it's not been that hard. I'm sure there's a lot of nuances to, like, things that, like, I'm not familiar with, but I mean, like the clerics and all that kind of stuff, and being a half elf and all that. But during the character creation, there is descriptions about those, so that it does make things kind of a little bit easier for me to get a grasp of.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it hasn't been that hard for me to really pick up on.
That's actually really good to hear, because even though I've played D&D before, I found, like, even Divinity was really hard for me to penetrate. But with this being a rule set I'm familiar with, it's probably something I would stick with longer then. So that's good to hear.
Yeah. Did you understand, like, the the dice rolling, like the crit and natural ones or anything?
So I mean, I don't understand what would make something like why you would do a crit roll, but I mean, I do get a pretty good gist of that.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that it was easy enough for you. I'm kind of glad that you didn't play D&D before, because now we get that perspective, because obviously the
Yeah.
teams have played D&D before, so we kind of understand how everything works.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, blessing in disguise there, mate. But we'll
Yeah.
remedy that soon. Don't you worry.
One thing I will say though, which they're going to be changing in that new patch that Casey mentioned, but right now, disengage is also jump for some reason.
Right.
It's really weird. Nobody understands why. But Larian are amazing. They are a godsend, and they listen to their player base. So everybody was like, "What the hell?" And they were like, "Okay, yeah, we're going to change that. So there will be a disengage on its own
Cool.
eventually."
Okay.
So yeah. Um.
Uh,
So I mentioned the origin characters.
Yeah.
And we have 3 of them here. I am not playing an origin character because you can't make an origin character. But Casey is, because he joined in on my game. So he's currently playing Shadowheart, and he has Gale with him as well, which he can switch to if he wants to. And I have Astarion, which everybody
Yeah.
either loves or hates.
So really quick, I noticed before while we were kind of switching perspectives there, you guys, Abby, you invited Casey.
Yes.
Could you show that screen a moment, because I think that's kind of interesting the way that's done.
I can show it. Yeah. So here's the session manager, and you can have up to 4 players because, of course, there's only 4 slots
Yeah.
in your party. So they could be, if you started from the beginning together, you could actually have 0 origin characters if you wanted to.
Right. Okay.
And I guess right now, as a limitation, since you can't select origin characters, if you do want to play as them and you're playing with 4 people, you would have to do like what Abby did. One person will have to go in and basically start the game and pick up those people. But in the future, that will change, and you'll be able to start with the origin characters if you choose to.
So you might notice that all of the characters are in the bottom left, and that there is a 5th one. That is my little rat.
Oh, you got a rat familiar, or no? Yeah. Okay.
So because I'm playing a ranger, I have Find Familiar. So I have a little rat out at the moment. There's actually quite a few though that I can have. I can have a spider. Just get him out. There he is.
Oh, that's a neat little animation.
Yes. All of the spells have animations, by the way. And they're all cool.
Like unique animations, so there's
Yeah.
not sort of. Oh, nice. Okay, we definitely have to see that in the combat.
In the new patch, they're going to be doing a lot more animations to make things more cohesive. So yeah, there's definitely going to be tons of animations for everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a spider, I've got a raven, I've got a rat, I've got a frog, a crab, and a cat.
So good,
And
good spread then.
Yeah, they all do different things, like some of them blind, some slow, etc., etc. You'll figure it out if you play a ranger in the game. It's very simple, but there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah. Could I get a look at the dialogue options? I'm just curious, sort of how that looks and how that works for, how it would look on the party's end. So if you kind of speak with someone, does it pull up the same sort of context interactions for
so what I'll do, I'll go ahead and talk to this trader, and then
Fighting off those goblins. If you need to replace any gear, just ask. My selection is pretty slim. I had to leave most of my equipment in Elturel.
so
Okay, very Dragon Age. I like that.
yeah. So this is what it looks like from my perspective. If I'm talking to somebody, so now we'll have Abby speak to him. So when she's talking to somebody, you see that,
Ah.
and then you have a listen in, and then
Oh. That
so
happens
basically, I
sometimes.
see the same thing as her. There's actually some pretty cool things you can do with dialogue as well. Like I can click on one, and it's like, so I can tell Abbie, hey, I want this one. And
That's great. I was just about to ask about that.
there's actually a Twitch overlay that's built into the game. So if you're streaming this on Twitch, people who are watching can also vote on what dialogue options they want as well.
Oh, that's
which
kind of
I
neat.
think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I also love how you can see Shadowheart just chilling in the background.
It's just shuffling around.
Yeah, so every like dialogue option and speech option is animated, like you just saw, and they're all voiced. So
Yeah. I'm noticing a campfire there as well, and I'm just wondering, before you guys sort of jump into any kind of combat, how does the long rest, short rest kind of thing work? And
okay, so it's a little bit different to D&D. So if you just click short rest, I don't know if you can do that, Casey.
Yeah, it's
I
up
bet you
here.
Yeah.
So if you do that, it'll short rest only do, I think, half of your health. So whatever your max HP is, if you take a short rest, it'll give you half of that HP back. And then I can't recall, do short rest, is it only long rest or short rest that refill your spell slots?
So
it should be.
just like in D&D, a short rest only refills a warlock's spell slots.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rest is all long rest. And the long rests in this game are very interesting, and we can show that because I think they're cool. If you want to click on that, Casey.
Yeah, we can
Sure.
go ahead and do that.
So while Casey's doing that, I take it with the short rests, it looked like it was pretty much instant. Can you do that sort of anywhere outside of combat, or do you specifically have to have like a campfire set up in order to do that?
You can do that anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So when you click long rest, you come here to your camp. So it takes you away from wherever you are. And all your party members are just chilling out, and you can have some conversations with them.
Oh, nice.
And this is kind of where you do most of your bonding with your companions.
Yeah.
In terms of the bonding stuff, how's that work? Is there sort of relationships? Is there sort of separate side quests you can go on?
James, you can romance anybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can go all of the way with all of them as well.
Really?
Which,
Wow.
yep. All animated, everything.
Oh,
Which we won't
right.
show, but you can do that.
So, right, I'm. This is going to sound really bad, but like, how explicit is that stuff? Is it kind of like Mass Effect, like pan away, or is it?
There is full nudity. I feel
There's
like it does kind of
no-
zoom in a bit, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
there's
show.
no genitalia.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But you can definitely tell what's going on.
Yeah.
But if you want to bring up the character panel, Casey, I think it's B for that. So, they will all have an attitude towards you. Somewhere. Somewhere on there.
Somewhere in this
Approval.
net of the UI.
Yeah. There's their
Yeah, there it is.
approval. Yeah. And since Abbie's the main character, it's all their attitude towards her.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think they're
Yeah.
all neutral at the moment because I haven't really gotten too far in the game. But yeah, so you can come here and you can have conversations with them and you can ask them questions. And if you ask them too many questions, then they'll get annoyed. And so on and so forth. Not only that, but while you're making choices in the game, not just in the camp, but while you're talking to other NPCs in the world, they will either disapprove or approve of your choices, and that will also change their attitude of you.
Okay.
So, for the most part, you can't please everyone at the same time.
Can
Because
I shower a character with a large amount of, let's say, unique items and gifts that may increase their approval rating?
well, yes and no.
Oh,
For the most part, no. There is one character here, though, that will ask you to get something for them. And if you keep giving them that item, then they will like you. But it's only for them. And I don't want to say who, because spoilers.
it's drugs, isn't it?
I mean,
To them it is,
you-
yes. But it's
yeah.
not drugs.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, for the most part, you just have to make decisions that they like, and they will tell you what they want. They will pretty much scream it in your face, like,
Okay.
what they're wanting from you. But like, yeah, everybody's different. For example, over here, this is Lae'zel, and she is just a fucking gigantic bitch, and nobody likes her.
Okay.
And she just wants to murder everyone. She hates everyone, and she's just the worst. So pretty much any decision you make, she'll not like you. Whereas the others are kind of more neutral to what you do for the most part. I mean, like Gale is probably the neutral good, or maybe the lawful good. Whereas Astarion's like chaotic good, you know?
Yeah.
So
I
they'll
like an
have
old
opinions.
chaotic neutral myself, you know?
Yes, same. But all of our origin characters are here at the moment. I've collected them all. So you'll find them in the world. You'll just stumble upon them, and then you can ask them to join you. And they'll either join your party or they'll come to your camp, and then they'll just chill here and
Cool.
wait for you.
And
Yeah.
one thing to add about the approval and disapproval thing, if you make a decision that is, just say, a big hard stopping point for one of them, even if they're at camp, they will still disapprove with you. So it's not for every action, but if something is a big enough action, it will actually, even if somebody's not there with you at that moment, they will still have feelings on the subject.
I guess that makes sense. So before you sort of jump into any combat really quick, inventory, how does that work?
Inventory is like most games, really. You have a weight, and you can't exceed that weight.
Yeah.
I don't think you can move anymore if you exceed it.
Are you telling me I can't just have a giant bag of holding and put like a whole cow in there?
I have not found a bag of holding in here yet. I don't think there's one in here, but
Oh.
you never know. There may be one in the future. But for the most part, you just shove all your shit in your backpack. You can fit anything in there. It doesn't matter.
And I'm noticing there's party gold, and then each character seems to have gold of their own. How does that kind of work when it comes to sort of a group purchase?
I think you can spend your own party members' gold, but
Yeah.
not anybody else's.
Okay, that makes sense.
But like I could give some gold to Casey if I wanted to, if he needed it.
I think I may be able to just take her gold as well.
Oh, you
Yeah.
yes, you can.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So we can sleep now and have a long rest. There might be a cutscene that comes up. That might be a bit spoilery. I don't know. They happen.
Okay. Spoiler
Sorry.
alert.
Still
for
Still
anyone.
out, I'm afraid. Though I may have a word with the
Oh,
chief.
do I need to talk to him before we sleep? For fuck's
Yeah.
sake, Will. What do you
I was
want?
watching you at the Grove Gate. You spilled enough goblin blood to... Where'd you learn moves like that? The frontier
Yeah, I got a
is
little
hostile
ranger,
host.
I've
spent many a year trying
thing
to tame
there.
it. The blade's not often key
Oh,
Get
okay.
different
sharing his
dialogue for
glory.
different backgrounds and
But if
classes
he has
and
to,
races.
Better it be with a champ like you.
That's cool. Also, this character seems really cool.
He is cool. His storyline doesn't go very deep. It's like 2 sentences deep at the moment. But hopefully it goes deeper the more the game comes out, because he's a very cool character.
Then let the forests part
I
and
don't
the
want to
rivers
talk
still.
to you forever right now, Will,
Legends approach.
though.
Now let's get some rest.
Yeah,
I do my best goblin killing at sunup.
yeah. Let's do that. Okay.
You going goblin slaying?
We will, yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
So you see Astarion is not sleeping, he is meditating.
Of course.
Elf lore. Okay, we didn't get a cutscene. Good. Kind of worried for a second. There you go, yeah, you can fast travel, you find like little glyphs around the world that you can fast travel to,
Oh, cool. Okay.
which is useful because it takes a while to get to places.
And I take it that's instant as well as like no major massive passage of time while you're doing that.
Yeah, it's instant.
Cool.
Something I do like about walking around the world that wasn't a thing in Divinity is that sometimes your characters will talk to each other. So in Divinity, they only ever talk to you, and it's like
I am
they
enjoying our
just
walks
didn't exist.
together.
So here we go. This is
Aren't
what I'm
you?
talking about.
Ah, okay. Very Dragon
Sarah's
Age.
talking
Yeah.
to Gale right now,
In
which
silence.
I like it. I think it's cool. It adds just a little bit of flavor, you know?
Yeah, I always loved that about Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Especially Dragon Age 3. Yeah, that's nice to see in a story, character-driven game like this.
Yeah, that was like the one thing I had with Divinity. It's like the other characters weren't there. It was just you and nobody else. So it's nice to have that interaction going on.
Yeah, there was that kind of almost lonely, kind of empty feeling in Divinity.
Yes.
Great though the game is, but when you're playing it solo, I didn't find it a great deal of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you can just straight up
Just taking their shit.
jack people's dead. Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just take his bone and rip that guy's skull out. That's cool.
I do like that there's a take all option on here. I want to say in
Yes.
Divinity they don't have that. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right on that.
it makes things
Yes.
a lot easier.
Goblins. I
So
can
you
smell
just did a
trouble.
perception check there. That was just automatic. Astarion
Oh,
succeeded. I think the rest of us failed.
so right. So so many questions. Hold on, we'll wait for this to play out.
I'll just jump straight to it.
Yeah,
Attack.
just attack
Looks
'em.
like we're spotted, lads.
You can talk your way out of pretty much every combat, I think. You don't have to fight anybody. But we
And
like to
that's-
fight people.
One thing they're also adding in the latest patch is they're gonna make it so if like you get caught stealing, you now can just choose to knock somebody out, so you can leave rather than having to kill them.
That's cool.
So what's going on right now? Astarion and Shadowheart have shared initiative, so me and Casey have our turns at the same time right now.
Ah, cool.
I don't think we can do much at the moment, but that's what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the order is up here of everybody.
So, question really quick, just while you're in the early turns here about the dice rolling. With the perception check and the way the initiative worked there, that's all done automatically for you? Right,
Yeah, it
okay.
just does it.
And in terms of the way that, one character succeeded that perception check and everyone else failed it, how does that work in terms of the information being shared about the party?
So if one person succeeds it, then everybody knows because they will say it out loud,
Right.
pretty much. They'll be like, "Hey, look, I found something," or "Look,
Right.
there's dead goblins here. What's going on?
You must got a death wish. Sneaking around in my
I
town.
think that was the sleep spell that just happened. Did they put Gale to sleep? Because they like to do that. They did. Poor Gale. Gale gets picked on in this game a lot. Like, he just seems to be the one that takes everything. I don't know if that's because he's like the weakest one and they tend to go for the weakest one.
Is he the wizard?
Possibly. Yes.
I mean, yeah, like deal with the magic users first. That's the fucking rule.
And with the upcoming patch, they are going to change the enemy AI a lot. So one of the things they mentioned is, like, say one of the enemies doesn't have a weapon, but there's one nearby, they will now run to that weapon to pick it up. They're also going to change things about who they target and how they manage their resources to make them more, I guess, player-like rather than just kind of dumb AI. So that should hopefully add some more challenge to the game as well.
I don't know if you noticed then, but when that fireball happened, my character did a saving throw on their own.
Oh, I didn't see that. Right.
Yeah, so that just happens automatically as well. You either save it or you fail, as you do in D&D.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Kinda
streamlined
nice.
quite a lot.
Yeah, kind of nice that it's done that way. It just keeps the flow of the combat moving, because as anyone knows who's played a D&D campaign, you know, you might have a 3-hour session. There's probably a good hour and 20 to, you know, an hour just for the combat, and it's like one encounter.
Yes. For anybody who's played Divinity, they'd know that like environmental effects happen quite a lot. So
Yeah.
there'd be like a lot of poison and water and fire. And that does happen in this, but I feel like it happens a lot less. It's a lot less of an element to the game.
Yeah, so I was going to ask about the sort of contextual interactions with the environment. So me as a D&D player, regardless of the type of character that I'm playing, I'm always looking and asking the DM, hey, you know, what's around the environment? Like, can I knock a sconce over and send, you know, flames everywhere? Is there a, you know, something I can drop on them? You know, that kind of thing. Are you seeing a lot of that in the environment? Is there much contextual interaction with the things going on around you?
Not as much as I'd like. Anything that is around that's like that, it's not very obvious.
Okay.
And there isn't all that much going on. Oh, where the hell am I going? I didn't mean to do that. But like, I don't want to go too far into spoilers, but there's one part where you're fighting someone and you can like drop a chandelier on their head if you look
cool.
upwards.
Okay.
This stuff does exist, it's just not as often as it is in like Divinity.
Well, it's good to know that it's still in there. It's a shame it's not. It's been not so obvious for you, or at least it doesn't look like there's much of it.
I mean, as I've explained in previous videos, I am stupid and I miss things, so, you know, it might just be me. But, yeah, I haven't seen much. So, I don't know... Oh, I've got a witch bot on me, that's what that purple thing is. From this goblin up here.
Oh yeah, okay. I just caught that.
There's lots of different effects. We don't have a warlock with us right now, but my favourite one is like the Hellish Rebuke effect.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool. I like it a lot. And you know,
Wow.
it's a reaction as well, so it
Yeah.
just happens.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention, because I was going to kind of ask how two things really, kind of how the reactions work, and you know, like a prepared action, and I was also wondering how oh god, what was that, like when you're sort of in melee range of someone and you come away from them, I forget what the term is now.
Disengage?
Yeah. Is that like, do they still take like an automatic reaction roll on hitting you when you move away? Is that still a thing?
So disengage is just like disengage in D&D.
Okay.
Exactly the same. Reactions work differently. So you'll see on Casey's screen of like the far right of his hotbar, there's like a little circle going on there. And that's his opportunity attack. And if you have a reaction, it'll be one underneath that. And I think you have to click on that and then it'll just happen automatically. But there's no like prompt for it really. So I'm not sure if it's explained, but you know, if I wasn't a D&D player before this, I feel like that would be confusing.
Sure. Casey, I'm noticing you've got in your hotbar there on the 6 action. Is that a polymorph spell with Gale? Oh,
This one
Grease.
right here.
Okay, right.
Grease.
Polymorph does exist, so it is in here. I don't think we've got anyone that has it though. Can I reach this guy? Oh, I can. I'm almost dead.
You probably picked a really good fight to show, actually, because one thing I was going to ask earlier on was what's the verticality like in combat, but seems like it's there, definitely.
It is. High ground
Yeah.
is a thing. High ground and
It's
low ground.
Very important.
Yeah, you'll see a lot. I think pretty much every fight has high ground, low ground, obstacles. It's never really just like a flat area.
I messed up. I was trying to get to this ladder, but I went the wrong way. Good
Oh,
thing
no.
there's this dude right here.
My character might die, which I kind of want to happen. Just
Yeah,
so we can know how it happens.
Interested in seeing how the death saving works and things like that. And
No,
yeah.
don't succeed the save. God damn it.
No.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
Who we
nice.
got left?
Nat 20. Get out of here.
Oh, you crit. Nice.
What spell was that, Casey? I didn't see.
Firebolt.
There we
Oh,
go.
nice.
Right, my character is now downed.
Okay.
So I've got a star in here and I can use the help action on myself. And he will pick me up. Just like
Okay.
that.
So in terms of death saves, is that every time you have to make one every time you get up to you on the initiative track, or is
Yes.
that based on? Oh, right. Okay, so it's not based on like real time.
No. In combat it's just the start of your turn.
Right.
Out of combat it isn't. And it's like every somewhat seconds.
Like, yeah,
And,
I think
like you
every
parry.
every D&D turn, I think is like roughly, is it like 8 to 12 seconds of action or something like that? They say.
Yeah. It goes by very quickly and it's always really anxiety inducing because they're like dead on the floor and you're trying to get over to them.
Yeah. So how does death work in this? So if you have someone who goes through all the death saving throws and fails, how does that work? Do you have to sort of walk me through that?
So there are scrolls of Revivify that we have. I think
Oh,
you
okay.
get some, and you can just use those. I don't know if you know this, Casey, but I don't think there's the Revivify spell. I think it's just the scrolls that we have. I could be wrong.
I think that's one of those things that I was talking about, like a warlock. I think they can learn it from one of the scrolls.
Oh, okay, yeah. So potentially like a cleric could revive.
So
But
I don't
for
know
the
if,
most part, it's just the scrolls.
okay. So I don't know if you've tested this, but I'm just interested, more curious than anything. If you leave a down guy like just down and out, and just walk the fuck away, does he stay there and wait for you to do the revivify, or is there? Oh, okay.
Yes. They'll just stay there until they die. It doesn't take very long for them to die, though.
So, right, okay. So there's no sort of permadeath of your characters.
I think there is.
Oh.
Oh. I've never had it happen before, but I think with a certain character, if you leave it too long, then they permanently die.
Right.
But that's more part of their character.
Yeah, that's
I think the
story
only,
kind of thing.
other than that, I think the only possibility of that is if you have no scrolls of revivify and you can't find any of them to buy, then like if the game's out of them, then I think you're just out of luck at that point. Just do better.
Just do that. Any opportunities to get sort of other characters in your party, you know, sort of mercenaries? Does anyone kind of join you on temporary quests, you know, that kind of thing?
Yes. So there is a druid that you will have to go and save. It's not really spoilers because it happens at the beginning.
Okay.
And then it's a big fight, and if he's still alive, he will help you. Or if you chose the evil side, then there is a drow called Minthara that will help you in that same fight. So it just depends on what side you take. Or you could just kill everybody if you wanted to, and then no one will take your side.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it depends on what decisions you make. If they like you or not, you'll be on one side or the other, or your own side.
So, yeah. So you mentioned the sides. I assume that's like, you know, just straight up good and evil. Is there just one sort of set campaign, and you can sort of branch down it in different ways, or you know, is there different stories, even like custom campaigns you can do in here?
I don't think custom campaigns are a thing yet, but I
they are
imagine
planned.
they will be.
Right.
It was a thing in Divinity.
Yeah, I distinctly
So,
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would probably be a thing in this. I'm sure they've talked about it before. But for the most part, it's a set story. But you can do anything, really, anything you want. You want to go around murdering everybody, then you can do that. That is what me and Casey did in a save, and it was fun as hell. Everybody hated us. I think Gale literally left the camp. He just left. Just got up and left.
His disapproval was that high.
Yeah.
His
So-
disapproval's too damn high.
So yeah, you can do whatever you want, really. I think there may be some barriers, like, you know, when Casey said, sorry, I was just falling off this roof. When Casey said you're out of 5 scrolls, I think that is the time where you just have to reload.
Right.
Because there's not much you can really do.
Okay.
But any other thing, you can find your way around it. Like I said earlier, you don't have to fight anybody. You can talk your way through combat. You can sneak around and get your stealth up so nobody even knows that you're there.
Solo rogue play?
Yeah. There's so many different ways you can go. And I have a lot of hours in this game, and I don't think I've found everything yet. And this is only the first act.
Right.
There is
I'm curious,
so
actually.
much going on in this game.
Do you know your guys' rough hour count? I'm just kind of gauging your time versus enjoyment here.
I have 93 hours.
Okay.
I think I have like 120, like low 100
Damn.
hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just a low 100 hours. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Well, I mean, I'm
So,
saying not
yeah.
closer to 200, but closer to 100 than 200.
Where's the story and gone?
Game in years.
He's
What's he
stuck up
doing?
on that roof.
Oh my god.
And you guys have, I would assume you guys have been playing that mostly together.
Yes, yeah, we did play a lot together.
Oh.
Did have our solo campaigns as well.
Yeah, I think we. Well, I know I've had the multiplayer one we've had, and then I've had 2 different solo ones, and then
Yeah.
I think Abby's probably had 500,000 because she likes to make a character, play a little bit, and then comes up with a new character.
Yeah. And the same.
Yep. Like I said, 10 hours in character creation, 5 minutes in game.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
And how, so without kind of invoking spoilers here, how have you found the campaign? Like, has it been satisfying enough? Any rough spots? Any boring spots?
I've been liking it. There's no boring spots for me personally. There is like a big twist with quotation marks with the story on, which is like, I already knew this because it was the most obvious thing.
Right.
You've
Okay.
been like pretty much shoving it down my throat this whole time, so don't make this a big reveal.
Yeah, they had it on the wind up for a while.
Yeah. Just like, really?
Cover story.
Come on. But I like everything that's going on. It's quite basic, I'd say, at the
Okay.
moment. But again, this is only the first act. This is more like a tutorial type of thing, and I'm expecting it to go a lot deeper as we get more into it. There's a lot of things that are not explained at the moment, and I think that is just because there's only one act for now.
Ah, right. Okay. Do you
But
know
there's
roughly how many acts
so
are planned?
much.
Symbol
to do.
glows,
I think they're
marked
playing
on
on
their
5
flesh,
acts.
and
Yeah,
something
Right.
within
I
you
think so.
stirs
Yeah,
in
there is a
response.
lot to do, a lot of side stuff.
Roughly how many hours of playtime would you say is currently in Act 1 right now?
Ooh, it depends what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously mileage may vary, but if you did everything.
Everything. Oh, I'd say a good like 40, 50 hours if you
A
did
shiver runs
everything.
Oh,
across
wow.
your mind.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Easy, lads.
You
We
can
got a
really
true
sink a
soul
lot of
coming
hours
through.
into this. So at the Goblin Camp,
Don't know any house in your excelness.
Yeah, and it seems like Casey's managed to lag his way through.
Lads are celebrating the raid on Walkeen's Rest. We captured a
I do
Duke with
like
it,
the Goblin Camp
all
when
the
you can
way
just
from the
walk
city.
around. There's some really interesting
I'm sure
characters
the
to talk
higher-ups
to
will
in
make
here.
sure you get the best
Yeah,
of the
I love this
spoils,
little
your
goblin guy. He's got like a proper,
The boss is
like,
in the temple
I'm a
inside.
geezer.
Mithara
They
thing
all
going
have
on
an
there.
accent and it's amazing.
Priestess
Yeah.
Gut can show you how many new recruits we
Well,
got.
everybody in this game has British accents, which is amusing to me.
I'm the goblin governor.
Wanna miss out on all the drinking.
Exactly that.
Shut it.
All of the
can't
voice
talk
acted is impeccable as well, by the way. I haven't
Yeah,
had a
everything.
single one that's bad.
Yeah, everything I've heard so far has sounded good.
Starion is wanting to talk to me. Hey, what do you want?
So, we can bend minds like
I love that Casey can just butt into that conversation.
I wonder where the limit
And
of
just-
their
just earwig it.
How much more can they do?
I love
for us?
Astarion. Astarion is voiced by Neil Newborn, who is one of my favorite voice actors out there. So, getting to listen to that voice, I like it a lot.
Neil Newborn.
No, but some prices
I've
are
heard of that name.
He is in Planet of the Apes. From
Ah.
from that, he's also in Detroit Become Human, which I streamed.
Oh, he was in Hollyoaks. Right, okay, right.
Was he? Oh, I didn't know that.
So, I was just checking whilst you guys were playing there. This is sat at 50 quid right now.
Yes.
Sounds like they've
Yes.
touched themselves a bum.
Yes, it is.
So I guess I'm going to ask the big question at this point. And going by your guys' time spent, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a good idea of your answer. But finding it worth it?
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. To say there is this much content in early access and in one act is insane. Like, that is so much. If the acts keep going on like this, then you could spend thousands of hours in this game.
And I mean, too, if you look at, like, if you're the type of person like me, like, say you would play Call of Duty just for, like, the campaign. I mean, you're talking about paying $60 right there for, like 5 hours worth of content,
Yeah.
And, with the early access alone, it's very worth it, in my opinion, even for that. But then you just think about how much more of the game you're going to get. It definitely does seem very worth it. And, Larian's been great, too. Like, we were saying before that we had a game save that we're playing together. Before, there was a bug with the early access, or something happened. And basically, after we would camp, like, all our characters disappeared. And so I contacted their support, and within a few hours, they're like, yeah, just send us your game save. And then this was like 5 p.m. for me, and I forget where Larian is located. So it was like pretty much the middle of the night for them. And then when I went to sleep that night, and when I woke up the next morning, they sent a game save back to us where they fixed the issue. And, like, so, we're talking about in a very short time, they fixed the issue we were having, And so, like, that level of support just seems great. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What game will take your personal game save and fix it for you and give you it back? Like, I've never had a game company do that, ever.
No, that kind of takes me back to the times of, like, where they had, like, the Nintendo phone lines open where you rang a dude and he guided you through it. Like, that's that level of support that you don't really see too often these days. So that's really commendable, actually.
And if you watch, like, the panel from Hauser, like, them explaining the patches and what's coming, you will see that they listen to us. And I don't mean listen as in they take one thing that we're complaining about and completely disregard the rest. Like, they will change full-on systems because we said we didn't really like it, or maybe it should be changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, they really want to make the game good for us and not just so they can make money from it. And you can really see that when they talk about their game.
And I take it you guys are happy enough with the progress that's been made? I mean, it's been almost a year since it sort of hit the early access stride. Happy enough with the way it's progressed so far, with features. I mean, there's only one act, right?
It's kind of complex though, because it's one of those things that we enjoy the game so much that we want to hurry up and play the full thing, and see the whole story through. And they were originally planning on it being released holiday season of this year, 2021, and obviously 2020 and COVID, all that really put a damper on most things. So they are hoping for a release in 2022. I'm guessing probably holiday season, but maybe sooner. We'll just see. But they always stay very in contact. They communicate very well, with everything that's going on. So, I mean, progress is being made, and they're very open about that. It's just one of those things. It's like, I want the game now, but that's more of just a personal issue rather than a game issue.
Yeah, and the progress may seem a little bit slow.
But hey, games take time to make, you know? Like,
and we're looking at certain games that came out recently that I'm not going to name, but we all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And we know that rush games are not good, and they know that, and you can watch the panels from hell. They literally say, you know, I know it's taking a lot of time, but we want this to be perfect for you, and that takes time. And I appreciate that so much. I'm so happy to wait because I know that they're going to do a good job with it.
Yeah,
And I know there's a reason that I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, it's all looking really good and solid right now, and it's nice to know that they're kind of walking that line between, you know, listening to the community and taking the time to put that in, but also not rushing the game out. You know, because some, like you say, some games can be rushed and some games can take too long. Star Citizen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And one thing too, I gotta say about like if you're looking to play this in early access, I don't think Abbie has, and I know I haven't. Apart from that game save issue we had, we have not had any game-breaking bugs.
No, not at all. Yeah,
Cool.
I just had the bugs that I mentioned earlier with like the cutscenes being all weird, but
Yeah, sometimes the physics flip out, and yeah.
The ragdolls are hilarious, by the way.
And
Wow.
I know one thing we've mentioned this upcoming patch that's coming, and that's something to keep in mind too, is with it being an early access, don't grow too attached to certain game saves, because with these major patches, you normally lose the ability to play your game save. But
Ooh.
it is an option, like in Steam, you can set it up, and they give instructions for all of this of how to prevent it from doing the latest patch. If you don't want it when it comes out, if you still want to keep playing your save, you can continue that on. But yeah, with early access right now, you're not going to be able to count on the save you make right now being carried over to, you know, final release. So
Yeah,
I mean, that's
sure.
something to keep in mind. But I mean, you know, like I said, I've already played the game 3 different times, so, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily complaining about that too much. And a few other
Yeah,
things I wanted
I
to
guess.
mention. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, a lot of the time with these patches, there's a lot of new content coming out anyway, that a new game save might be better, so you get to experience it. Or like with the latest one, the Druid class came out, and obviously you'd have to make a new character
Yeah.
to play a Druid class. So sometimes it's beneficial to make a new save.
Yeah, and I guess it's best to consider this because it is early access. You know, an alpha or at least, you know, beta release. So yeah, I think it's easy to understand for most people with an early access game that, you know, your save states, your progression isn't going to potentially carry into the final game.
Yeah. And I completely understand people who wait and don't play early access. People who want it the full game, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm just impatient.
Yeah, we all are.
That's
That's the reason unfinished business exists.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the best parts about being a PC gamer is getting to see the stuff early. So
Definitely.
yeah.
A few things I want to mention too about the upcoming patch. There's some changes that they're going to be making as well to camping. So right now, one thing is like you can camp 20 million times if you want to. You know, like say you're about to go into a battle, you're like, well, let me go ahead and just camp. They are changing that coming up soon. Soon you'll have to have materials such as food and scraps you find around. You'll need those to be able to start a camping session. So you can't just camp spam anymore, and you know, just to get all your health and all that up. It makes you more have to focus on how you play the game. And they're changing dice rolls now, so
Yeah, I was just literally reading that. So there's some sort of active dice roll mechanic coming in.
yeah, so now you'll be able to influence your rolls with spells or other bonuses to increase your chances of the outcome you want to happen. And speaking of dice rolls too, they're going to start having these what they're calling background goals. So like with each of your characters, they have a background to them, and there's going to be certain quests and things you can find related to those throughout your playing, and you'll get for completing those, you'll get what are called inspiration points, and those allow you to say you do a dice roll and it doesn't come out in the favor you want, you can choose to re-roll, but it uses one of those inspiration points. So
yeah, so that's something straight off of the tabletop. In fact, I was going to ask about inspiration earlier during combat.
Yeah.
That's one thing I forgot, but that's good to know.
Yeah, I think it's a good way of doing it as well. Inspiration is
sure.
a hard one. Mostly in D&D, it's just up to the DM. But obviously, there is no DM in this game.
Yeah.
So it's a cool way of doing it.
All right.
do you have any
anything else you
more
want to?
questions?
I was just about to say, anything else you want to show me? Because I'm fresh out of questions. This you've pretty much capped everything off as far as I can tell.
We've covered everything that you need to know. There's obviously more going on. Without spoiling anything, I don't think we can show much out.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So
So I mean,
thanks so much for showing me this, guys. It's I'm probably myself gonna wait for it to go on sale, just because I know I won't get the time to put into this that you guys have. But I am intrigued because it's, we've got a D&D campaign planned, but outside of that, I haven't played it in a while, so it'd be nice to jump into that kind of system again.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this game. I really want it to do well.
Yeah. All right. Cheers for showing us, guys.
yeah. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.